There is a moment in life that almost no one talks about. A moment when you finally realize the people closest to you are not always the people who are good for you. It doesn't happen all at once. It starts quietly. You feel tired after being around them. You second-guess yourself more than you used to. Your confidence drops. Your peace disappears the moment they enter the room. And the hardest part? You keep making excuses for them. Because of history, because of loyalty, because of love. But here is the truth most people avoid. Not everyone who is familiar is meant to stay in your future. Sometimes the most painful growth comes from accepting that protecting your peace matters more than protecting connections that are slowly breaking you. Today, we are going to talk about 8 powerful signs that it may be time to create distance, even from people you once deeply cared about. Not from anger, not from hatred, but from clarity, self-respect, and strength. And if even one of these signs feels familiar, your intuition may already be trying to guide you. Before we continue, if you are someone who is working on becoming mentally stronger, emotionally calmer, and more in control of your life, then this channel is for you. Here we talk about Stoic wisdom, emotional discipline, self-respect, and building an unshakable mindset in a chaotic world. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next message that could change how you see your life and your relationships. Now, let's begin. They consistently make you feel small. There is a kind of harm that doesn't look like abuse. There are no loud arguments, no obvious attacks. Instead, it comes through small comments, subtle jokes, side remarks that stay in your mind long after the conversation ends. You share a goal, and they laugh it off. You celebrate a win, and they downplay it. You talk about something that excites you, and they respond with doubt, sarcasm, or criticism. Over time, you start shrinking yourself. You talk less. You dream smaller. You stop sharing good news because you don't want to feel embarrassed for being proud of yourself. This is not honesty. This is not keeping you grounded. This is someone slowly weakening your confidence. Stoic philosophy teaches that a person who needs to diminish others is often trying to escape their own feelings of inadequacy. When someone constantly points out what is wrong with you, it often says more about their inner struggles than about your flaws. But even if their behavior comes from insecurity, it does not mean you are required to accept it. Respect is not optional in healthy relationships. Support is not a luxury. Encouragement should not feel rare. If someone repeatedly makes you feel less than you are, they are not helping you grow. They are keeping you small so they don't have to face their own stagnation. And no matter how long you have known them, you do not owe anyone access to your life if they benefit from your self-doubt. They never take responsibility for their actions. Pay close attention to how someone handles mistakes. Do they reflect? Do they apologize? Do they try to improve? Or does everything always seem to be someone else's fault? In unhealthy relationships, there is a familiar pattern. When something goes wrong, they blame circumstances. They blame other people. They blame you, but never themselves. If you confront them, they deny it. If you explain how you feel, they say you're too sensitive. If you ask for accountability, they act like the victim. Over time, you start questioning yourself. You wonder if you really are overreacting. You replay conversations in your mind. You begin apologizing just to keep peace, even when you did nothing wrong. This is emotional exhaustion. Stoic wisdom emphasizes self-examination as the foundation of character. A person who refuses to look at their own behavior cannot grow, and anyone close to them becomes the emotional dumping ground for their unresolved issues. When someone refuses accountability, they are silently telling you, "My comfort matters more than your experience." And that is not a relationship built on mutual respect. That is a relationship built on emotional imbalance. You are not responsible for managing someone else's ego. You are not obligated to carry guilt that doesn't belong to you. Distance becomes necessary when honesty is punished, and truth is constantly rewritten. They only show up when they need something. Some people don't disappear completely. They disappear only when you need them. But when they are struggling, when they are lonely, when they want advice, attention, or support, suddenly, they remember you exist. The messages increase. The tone becomes warmer. The connection feels real again, but only temporarily. Then, once their situation improves, they vanish. No check-ins, no interest in your life, no support for your challenges. This creates a painful pattern. You become their emotional emergency contact, not their equal. Stoic thinkers believe that true relationships are based on mutual goodwill, not convenience. Real connection flows both ways. Support is not a one-way transaction. If someone only comes to you when they are empty and disappears when they are full, they are not investing in you. They are using your emotional energy as fuel. And the danger is not just that they take from you. The danger is that you start believing this is all you deserve. That your value lies in fixing others. That love must be earned through sacrifice. But that is not love. That is conditioning. Your time is precious. Your emotional energy is limited. You are not obligated to keep giving to people who never give back. They ignore or mock your boundaries. Boundaries are not punishments. They are protections. They exist so relationships can remain healthy instead of harmful. But some people treat boundaries like obstacles they are entitled to cross. You say something makes you uncomfortable. They joke about it. You ask for space. They accuse you of being cold. You express a limit. They act offended, as if your boundary is an attack on them. This is not misunderstanding. This is disregard. A person who respects you may not always like your boundaries, but they will honor them. A person who disrespects you will repeatedly test them. Stoic philosophy teaches that dignity is preserved through action, not argument. You cannot convince someone to respect you through endless explanation. If they wanted to understand, they would. When someone continues crossing your boundaries, they are showing you that your comfort ranks below their desires. And no relationship can stay healthy when one person's peace is always sacrificed for the other's convenience. Distance becomes necessary when your limits are treated as jokes instead of truths. They feel uncomfortable with your growth. This is one of the most painful realizations in life. Not everyone who knows you wants to see you rise. When you start improving, when you gain confidence, when new opportunities appear in your life, pay attention to their reaction. Do they celebrate with you, or do they downplay it? Do they encourage your growth, or do they suddenly become critical, doubtful, or competitive? Sometimes envy doesn't look like anger. It looks like silence. It looks like sarcasm. It looks like subtle discouragement disguised as realism. Your success reminds them of what they have not yet faced in themselves. And instead of working on their own growth, they become uncomfortable with yours. Stoic wisdom teaches that envy comes from inner dissatisfaction, not from others' achievements. But while their insecurity is not your responsibility, protecting your future is. You should not have to shrink to make others comfortable. You should not have to hide your victories to preserve someone else's ego. People who truly care about you are inspired by your growth, not threatened by it. If someone only feels good around you when you are struggling, they are not walking beside you. They are standing above you. You feel like you must constantly be careful around them. If you cannot relax around someone, something is wrong. When you constantly filter your words, monitor your tone, and suppress your emotions to avoid triggering conflict, that is not emotional safety. That is emotional surveillance. You start anticipating their reactions. You plan conversations in your head. You fear being honest because honesty leads to drama, guilt, or punishment. This keeps your nervous system in a state of alert, and long-term stress does not come only from danger. It also comes from unpredictability. People who create emotional tension often shift moods quickly, use guilt, withdraw affection, or react intensely to small things. Instead of managing their emotions, they make you responsible for keeping them stable. Stoic philosophy warns against becoming emotionally dependent on another person's approval or mood. When you live in constant adjustment, you slowly lose yourself. Healthy relationships allow honesty. They allow disagreement. They allow authenticity. You should not feel trapped in politeness or silence just to survive a relationship. Peace should not feel fragile around people who claim to care about you. They do not respect your time or priorities. Time is not just hours on a clock. Time is your life. When someone repeatedly shows up late, cancels plans, interrupts your work, or expects you to always be available, they are sending a message. My needs come first. They may call it spontaneity. They may call it being busy. But patterns reveal priorities. And when your time is treated as flexible, but theirs is treated as sacred, you are not being treated as an equal. Stoic thinkers valued time as the most irreplaceable resource. Money can return. Opportunities can return. Time never does. Someone who respects you will respect your schedule, your goals, and your responsibilities. They will not guilt you for having a life. You should not feel selfish for protecting your focus and your future. If someone expects constant access to you without respecting what matters to you, that relationship will slowly pull you away from your own path. You feel more peaceful when you are away from them. This is the quietest but strongest sign of all. Notice how your body feels when you are not around them. Do you feel lighter? Do you think more clearly? Do you feel more like yourself? Peace is not an accident. Your nervous system recognizes safety before your mind accepts truth. If someone's absence brings relief, that is important information. Healthy relationships do not require recovery time. They do not leave you emotionally exhausted after every interaction. Stoic philosophy teaches that harmony is a sign of alignment with your nature. If being around someone consistently creates inner disturbance, something is misaligned. You do not need dramatic conflict to justify distance. You do not need a final argument. You do not need permission. Peace is enough reason. Sometimes the healthiest decision is not cutting someone off in anger, but quietly choosing less access to your life. Here is the truth that changes everything. Relationships are not meant to drain you. They are meant to strengthen you. They should bring clarity, not confusion. Support, not sabotage. Growth, not guilt. When someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, avoids accountability, competes with your progress, drains your energy, and disturbs your peace, that relationship is not challenging you to grow. It is slowly wearing you down. Stoic philosophy teaches that your mind is your greatest possession, and anything that consistently damages your mental stability deserves less access to your life. Choosing distance is not betrayal. It is maturity. It is the decision to stop sacrificing your future for people who are comfortable with your suffering. You can love people and still walk away from their behavior. You can appreciate memories and still protect your present. You can care deeply and still choose yourself. Distance does not destroy real bonds. It only exposes which ones were built on imbalance.